Hello, I'm Karen Morgan, and this is the Purple Bike Podcast. Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about the year 2004. In 2004, I was home with 3 little kids, ages 5, 3, and 2, which was really fun, but I decided I might need a night out once a week just to sort of clear my brain cells, so I went with my friend and we took a stand-up comedy class, which accidentally sent me into a crazy profession where I'm still hanging out today. Other things that happened in 2004, we got a little thing called Facebook, and you could hear an immediate roar from the vortex sucking up all the time and attention of billions of people. In 2004, the Summer Olympics were held in Athens, Greece, and that's where U.S. swimmer Michael Phelps won his first 6 gold medals, and he set the record for the most medals won at a single games. He got 8 in total. And in 2004, the Boston Red Sox baseball team won their first World Series since 1918. After an 86-year drought. This was really big news for everybody around here, especially my family since my husband is from Boston and his dad grew up going to the Red Sox games. My husband was able to take his dad to the World Series that year, which was very, very special. Now, some Bostoners blame the curse of the Red Sox World Series drought on the fact that they sold Babe Ruth to their rival, the New York Yankees, in 1920. But for whatever the reason, the curse was lifted in 2004, and people around here were very, very happy. The number 1 song on the charts for 2004 was Yeah, and that was Usher featuring Lil Jon and Ludacris. We also had songs from Maroon 5. Hoobastank. I just like saying Hoobastank.
I'm not a perfect person. There's many things I wish I didn't do.
Britney Spears.
Let's get into it. Get stoned.
And the Black Eyed Peas.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it.
I was still suffering through a lot of kids' television shows back in 2004. That year, we got Lazy Town. Oh my gosh, this was a kids show from Iceland, and it was a combination of real people with these weird looking rubberish puppets. It was a show about a girl that had pink hair, and she moved to Lazy Town to live with her uncle who was the mayor. And there was this hero guy whose name was Sporticus, who his whole job was just to get people to exercise. Now, there was a bad guy on the show named Robbie Rotten, and he was lazy and didn't want people to exercise. He was the highlight of the show. Lazy Town was created by Magnus Scheving, who was an Icelandic gymnast and an aerobics champion. He also played the character Sporticus. 2004 brought us The Backyardigans. Yay! The Backyardigans was a computer-animated kids show about 5 animal friends. Pablo, who was a penguin, Tyrone, who was a moose, Tasha was a hippo, and Austin was a kangaroo. And then we had Uniqua, who was pink and had polka dots, and I'm not really sure what kind of animal she was. All I know is that 3 little children in my house would watch the Backyardigans and sit down and be happy, so Uniqua could be whatever kind of animal she wanted to be, and I loved her. Drake and Josh came out for the first time in 2004 on Nickelodeon, but I wouldn't really have to suffer through this one for a few more years when my daughter started watching all the reruns. For the grown-ups in 2004, we got Battlestar Galactica. Now this was a new version with new characters, and I gotta tell you, I didn't watch it because I am still loyal to the original Battlestar Galactica with Dirk Benedict and Richard Hatch. And the show Rescue Me first came out. This was Dennis Leary's show about a group of firefighters in New York after 9/11. It was a really great show. It also featured Lenny Clark, who was a very good, funny dude that I know from Boston. We had a lot of good movies in 2004, and a lot of them were number 2 movies, starting with the top box office winner, which was Shrek 2. Now, Shrek 2 follows Shrek and Fiona after they got married, and Shrek and Donkey go meet Fiona's parents. And there's a fairy godmother who wants Fiona to marry her son, Prince Charming, so she's trying to break up Shrek and Fiona's marriage. And then Shrek and Donkey team up with Puss in Boots. It was a good Shrek. The big Oscar winner of 2004 was Million Dollar Baby. It won Best Film, Best Director for Clint Eastwood, Best Actress for Hilary Swank, Best Supporting Actor for Morgan Freeman. It was a great movie, but it was really sad. The other big box office winner was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This was the third Harry Potter film where he was a third-year student at Hogwarts and he meets his uncle Sirius Black. So get ready for a whole bunch of 2 movies. We had Spider-Man 2. We had Meet the Fockers, which was a 2. That was the one with Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman, Barbara Streisand, and Blythe Danner, a very funny movie. We had Ocean's 12, which was a 2, and that was directed by Steven Soderbergh with George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, and all the gang from Ocean's 11, which was a 1, or actually a remake of a 1. We had Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason, which was the second film in that series with Renee Zellweger, Hugh Grant, and Colin Firth. Kill Bill Volume 2. That was a 2 from Quentin Tarantino with Uma Thurman and David Carradine. And we had The Princess Diaries 2, a royal engagement directed by Gary Marshall, written by Shonda Rhimes, and bringing back Anne Hathaway, Julie Andrews, and Hector Elizondo. Other Oscar winners for 2004 were Ray, that was a Best Actor win for Jamie Foxx. The movie Sideways won Best Adapted Screenplay. That was a movie with Paul Giamatti, Thomas Hayden Church, Virginia Madsen, and Sandra Oh about these 2 guys that go drink a bunch of wine. I don't remember. Somebody was getting married, but it was a very good film, and I remember this was the first film I saw Paul Giamatti in, and he was great. Kid movies for 2004 were The Incredibles from Disney. That won the Oscar for Best Animated Film. We also had Shark Tale and Teacher's Pet, which was also a Disney film with Nathan Lane. And we had SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie. We got to see several girl movies like The Prince and Me with Julia Stiles, which I actually really loved. We had Ella Enchanted with Anne Hathaway. We also got to see Mean Girls, and that was written by Tina Fey, starring Lindsay Lohan and Rachel McAdams. And there was The Notebook with Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams, James Garner, and Gina Rowlands. A very sweet love story that was kind of sad. But we were saved by some funny movies in 2004. We had Along Came Polly with Ben Stiller and Jennifer Aniston. We had 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, a very funny movie and a very good premise. We had Dodgeball, a true underdog story with Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, and the rest of that very funny cast. And one of the best funny movies of 2004 was Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. That was written and directed by Adam McKay, also co-written by Will Ferrell. Had Will Ferrell, Christina Applegate, Paul Rudd, Steve Carell. What a very, very funny cast and a very funny movie. Couple of scary movies in 2004. That was the first Saw movie. I didn't see that because I hate scary movies. But I did see Open Water, which was actually scarier than Saw because it was about a couple that goes scuba diving and they're on a dive boat, and the people miscount the number of people that come out of the water to get back on the boat, and they just get left out at sea, and then they drown. So now we come to my favorite movies from 2004. There's actually a three-way tie for me that year, and these are all very different movies. The first one is National Treasure with Nicolas Cage. This was a great movie. He plays this guy named Benjamin Franklin Gates, he comes from this family of treasure hunters, and his grandfather teaches him about all these cryptic clues that are in the American history that could lead him eventually to some treasure. Now, one of these clues is apparently a map on the back of the Declaration of Independence, which he steals. So he steals the Declaration of Independence. Okay, so it's kind of far-fetched, but it's a fun movie to watch. This is the first in a 3-film series. The next one on my list is 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo. This was an equally far-fetched movie, but also fun to watch. Jennifer Garner plays a 13-year-old girl who wishes on her birthday in a closet to be 30, and then she wakes up in a Fifth Avenue apartment 17 years later. There's some great throwbacks to 80s music and clothes. It's just a really fun movie. And the top of my list for 2004 was Napoleon Dynamite. This quirky little movie, which I love so much, was written by Jared and Jerusha Hesh, who are a married couple, and it was directed by Jared. Most of the situations in the movie were based on Jared's life. Now, John Heder, who was in college with the Hesses at BYU, played Napoleon Dynamite. How would you describe Napoleon? He's awkward, he's weird, he's hilarious, and he's friends with a kid named Pedro who wants to be class president, and he's so very awkward with girls, but he finds an equally awkward girlfriend at the end, and he has a super weird family. I loved Napoleon Dynamite because it was just different than all the other movies that have been out for a while, and it still is. I think it's a great movie, even though it's a little bit quirky. So that's it. That's 2004. I was home with 3 little kids, none of whom were in school, so I watched just enough shows like The Backyardigans to realize that I needed some grown-up time. So I finally found a great outlet down at the comedy club, which led to a lot more comedy in the future. Join me next time when we talk about the year 2005. When YouTube was founded, Guitar Hero came out, and I became a finalist on Nick at Night's Search for the Funniest Mom in America. Thanks for listening, everybody. Y'all have a great day. To follow for more episodes of The Purple Bike, go to thepurplebike.com.